If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, it should come as no surprise that I am an absolute illusionist simp, and so naturally, I played Dromai in this ProQuest season. However, it turns out I am very bad at making decks, or at least good competitive decks, and so today's Dromai list was not of my own creation. It was made by Philip Mackay, aka Philpsy Bay on Twitter, and I must say, if you're looking for some fab coaching, I cannot recommend him enough. If you're interested in that, there will be a link in the description. Most Dromai decks are either redline aggro or full dragon control, but I was running what I dub Phantasmal Dromai, which was the deck that carried me to 2 separate top 8s. Why is it called that? Well, quite simply, no one is expecting the Phantasmaclasms. Going through the main loadout, we've got the Storm of Sandakai, because of course we do, Crown of Providence, Flamescale Furnace, Phantasmal Footsteps, and then a little spice for the arms in Wave of Reality. There is a Silken Form in the sideboard, but in most matchups, it's not worth pitching into the Quell, as this deck is very streamlined on resources. So having 2 Ward gives us a bit of life and can help block breakpoints early game without needing to invest anything into it. The main goal of this deck is to play off 2 and 3 card hands, keeping our life total somewhat high while sending undercosted attacks at our opponent's faces. So to start out, we've got your usual cards like red and blue Dust Up, red Billowing Mirage, red Sweeping Blow, red Spears, red Doombreaker, and blue Embermaw. But then we add in some power with Miraging Metamorph and Phantasmaclasm, which threaten 7 and 9 damage respectively. We've also got mainboard Command and Conquer and Erase Face, which add to the pressure of the deck immensely. Pitch a blue, come in with a 1-cost Go Again, then C&C. And to top it off, we've also got 3 Snatches, which act as a Chain Ender, a 1-card hand in a pinch, and even better, a 0-cost Pursuit of Knowledge in the Mirror. Now, of course we are running some dragons, but it's a lot less than most other builds run. Here, we've just got Chromai, Asvalai, Kyloria, and Vincerakai in the main board. The first 3 help us with going a bit more wide, while Vincerakai acts as 3 more copies of Phantasmaclasm, threatening 9 damage for just 3 resource. There's also 2 mainboard auras, Passing Mirage and Pierce Reality. Passing is there to remove Phantasm, but the Pierce Realities are the real MVPs here. It's a blue that blocks for 2, but the value is that when played, most people just ignore it. And sure, Phantasmaclasm for 11 and Doombreaker Senpai for 7 are great, but have you even considered Sweeping Blow and Billowing Mirage for 5? Remember, not all of these illusionist attacks have Phantasm. And to round off the main board, we've got 3 Sinks and 3 Fate Foreseens because, well, I mean, they're the best defense reactions. Moving on to the sideboard, we've got the Silken Forms for the Arcane matchups and for the Mirror. Spooky Fingers is our ticket to beating Guardians, as well as pretty much the rest of the sideboard. Mirror Guy removes Phantasm from our dragons, and Rake the Embers gives us plenty of Ashwings to poke with, as well as tick up our Ghostly Touch. And then 2 Burn Them Alls allow us to pile on extra Arcane damage in the late game. But the true MVP here versus Guardian is the 2 Dust from the Red Deserts. Set these up as the game goes along while pitching your Vincerakais, and then in the late game, you're able to drop those big dragons and attack in without Phantasm, threatening the opponent's hand. And keep in mind, with all the attacks, you can usually follow it up with something more. Finally, we have 2 energy potions to avoid exposed to the elements, and 1 time snap potion to drop a Passing Mirage before activating our Ghostly Touch. You want to run this over the Mage Master boots in this build due to needing the Phantasmal Footsteps for all your Phantasm attacks. Now, I'm definitely no expert at this game, but this deck let me top 2 separate pro quests with not that much grinding beforehand. So if you're looking for a different but very powerful way to play Dromai, I highly recommend you check out this deck. And if you are looking to build this deck and you need to pick up a few cards, check out flukenbox.shop. This store was made by a fellow Flesh and Blood YouTuber, Flukenbox, and his prices are honestly quite reasonable. They really only look expensive because they're in fake Australian dollars. And his shipping is incredibly cheap. Honestly, it costs the same amount to ship from Australia to Canada as it does to ship within Canada. It's absolutely absurd. So I will also link his store down below, and you should absolutely go check it out. But until next time, keep simping for those dragons, my fellow Chads. If you liked this video and want to help support me, consider either becoming a channel member or checking out my Patreon. There are different levels of bonuses like early access to videos, signed cards, and even custom hero cards. And to those who are already supporting me, you have my deepest and most honest appreciation. It's because of all of you that I can continue to put in the work to bring the best content I possibly can to the Chadliest community in the TCG space. Thank you, my friends.